Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. It is, ironically, April 1st, April Fool's Day. Um, Honestly, just jumping in here to now because I was about to go get some dinner, but I thought, let's just do a quick run to check in. I've been trying to kind of do a video every Monday-ish if possible, and then I think last week I threw in an extra one in the middle of the week just because it was kind of fun. Um, Gonna be blunt. Whew, as this is booting up here. Um, Last week was a rough week, personally, but just a long, long, hard week. And it's times like that where you need distractions, which I think Eve is really good for. I might have said this in the past. One other thing that I've done recently, or over the last 6 to 8 months, is I took back up golf for the first time in a long, long time. Just being able to jump in here and play has been really cool, and also doing these videos, nice little distraction. Um, just a lot of stuff going on. Hit a couple different ways, but in good shape. Good shape. Got some stuff taken care of. On the Eve side of things, let's see here. Last night, ironically, because of my work schedule, which is part of the last week of craziness, my sleep schedule's been so bad, and I ended up waking up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I couldn't fall back asleep. So I thought I'll just jump in and play, and I was able to find a wormhole directly from the system that I was in to um, the system of Heck, H-E-K. Let me just pull it up here real quick. Close. So literally, a wormhole from the system that I'm currently in, um, and it was able to take me all the way out to the system of Heck. I'll just show you guys here. So I'm in Stain down here, but it took me all the way over here to, I think Heck is in Metropolis, off the top of my head. And the nice thing about that was it wasn't even just off of Heck, it was right in Heck. Yeah, it's top left-hand corner, right up here. Um, Heck is not a, what you call it? It's not a major trade hub, but it's one of the secondary trade hubs. So by doing that, I was actually able to pick up a coercer. Really simply, I found the wormhole, jumped through with a rookie ship, dropped off at Heck, and then picked up a coercer and flew it back. I don't think I've actually fitted this sucker out at all, and I might save that for a little bit of a different video. I thought about, no, it isn't fit. So that was the last thing I did last night. Oh, what is that? Oh, ooh, that was careful. So, as soon as I start this video, within 5 seconds, come on up, pup, say hi. She jumps in. I was a little bit worried. She ran in. She had this big smile on her face, but it looked like she had a cut on her nose, but it wasn't. It was just a leaf. That's why I freaked out there for a second. You good? You good? Okay. No biting? No biting? Okay, good. Um, One little side note, completely off the, and I'll talk about this really quickly. I had talked to a guy that I work with a couple weeks ago who has 6 huskies. Um, and I had asked him if, because they're incredibly friendly dogs, except for I've noticed with Maya that she is not friendly around small dogs. And I asked him because he has 6 of these crazy dogs, and he said no, he's got the same problems. And then last week I met a guy. I have a guy who's coming to knock down some trees of mine in my property, and he has 10 huskies, if you can believe it, which I don't know. Drive me insane. This one drives me insane. But I asked him the same thing, and he said he also had the same problem. Many small animals. Um, and I don't know if it's a breed thing, but just in that general sense, I've always worried about her with that. She's very friendly with people, has had no problem with large dogs, but every time there's been a smaller dog around, even walking down the road, she just is not happy about it. So If you're thinking about getting a wonderful dog like mine, take that into account. Um, that's at Eve. So, got my coercer. I thought about fitting it out, and then I thought, no, I just want to bring it right back out here to stain, and I'll do the same thing that I'm doing with the tormentor that I've gotten. Because the tormentor that I have, I've slowly been able to upgrade a little bit better. And I've been able to put on, actually, let's pull it up here. And we're going to fly that here in a second. Try to go get ourselves killed, I think. Well, actually, I think we're going to fly the magnate. But there we go. So, long story short, my tormentor here, I've gotten 3 drones. I've also been able to throw on, this is all stuff that I found out here. Um, been able to upgrade to some regular, uh, oh, shoot. Um, some multi-frequency S lasers. I've also been able to upgrade all 3 of my gun slots to modulated energy beam ones, which are your meta 4 level, your highest level Tech 1 guns that you can have. So the sucker's doing just under 110,000, I'm sorry, 110 DPS, which is allowing me to kill some other ships. I was also able to find a couple other things to throw in here. I made an armored tank. Still looking for some decent stuff in the middle here. Um, but yeah, this has become a little bit more of a viable ship for me to mess around with out here, um, and having a lot of fun with it. But actually, we are going to jump into the magnate because I am going to try once again. I know I say this. I'm going to try once again to get myself blown up. Now, this is the magnates that I have. Um, these are just the most wimpiest fit you could ever do to a magnate. I took a couple blueprint copies out here. I've started producing a few magnates so that I can scan. This is the ship that allowed me to find the wormhole to get me back home instead of flying to Heck, which, let's see here. If I would have flown straight to Heck, uh, it would have taken me 39 jumps. Instead, I found that wormhole, boom, right there. So, really saves you a lot of time doing it that way. And it's kind of fun having this ability now, and I've done this in the past and I got away from it, is playing this style of play makes almost every gameplay session a little bit different. Now, you should definitely have times where you're planning things out and stuff like that. This might even be a good type of character for somebody who already has a main account. They just want to have something to mess around with every once in a while. But I love going out to areas like Stain and Syndicate and out in Curse, where you just kind of live off the land and you're just trying to get along. And bringing these blueprint copies out, you don't, you know, I'm not power gaming it. It's more just sticking around and trying to see what I can do. Um, so what I'm going to do now is show you the second part of what I did yesterday. And this is where um, progress doesn't have to be in ISK creation. It doesn't have to be in what new ship you've flown. It's have you progressed in a way that helps your gameplay in the future. And yesterday, I'll pull up the map here. Before I actually found the wormhole to uh, Heck, um, I was actually able to take my ship down. Where was I at? Stain. Yeah, I can't remember where I'm at. So I'm up in 1H4V Tech O. Now, like I've said in the past, this isn't going to be my main home. It's going to be one of my little homes all around Stain, I think, and then I'll progress out to Curse and maybe back over to Syndicate or someplace else. Um, but I'm going to just start dropping off all these little blueprint copies as I go along. It's going to take quite a while. But what I was able to do yesterday was, if you notice where I'm at here, I wanted to get to the other parts, some other parts of Stain. So my first excursion yesterday was to actually travel all the way down to this loopy little constellation down here. What constellation is that? It is Q4IG TACS. Yeah, that's incredibly important. Um, but as I was flying down here, if you notice, now this is up to date ship to pod kills in the last hour off of Dotland. Um, as you can tell, this area here is a little bit iffy because you've got a couple choke points that people might want to blow you up at. I've always found that this whole area is a little bit iffy to go through if you don't have a cloak on. So my ability now is that was I was able to go through here last night and there was nobody gate camping. So I started setting up some waypoints, some safe spots along the way that will help me to make this traversing this gauntlet of an area easier. Especially since I'm an alpha character. I don't have a cloak. I don't have the really quick sneaky ships. You got to be a little bit more careful. The other thing is down the road, let's say I do go Omega, um, the uh, I may be flying ships that don't use cloaks because maybe I'm flying larger ships, that sort of thing. So everything that I do right now is helping me for the future to get from place to place. I found that 6 months ago, whenever I was leading a corp um, uh, roam. It was funny because I was using all of these old save spots that I had made months in the prior to allow us to get to safe areas to then scan the areas, and it was kind of neat. So all of the stuff that I'm trying to do now is laying the precursor to helping me in the future. And even though I didn't make any ISK off the run last night, it helped me to in the future make my gameplay better. On that note, we're about to take off. I did want to say, let's see here. Let's set RLDS Tech R as our, let's see, our RLDS Tech R. We're just going to set that. It's 9 jumps away. This is going to be our try. You notice in the last hour, 2 ships have been potted and killed on the way there. So there's a good chance I might die at this. Um, but if you notice the ship that oh wait, better drop off my junk. Um, I did find a nice little relic site, so drop that off before I go. Get out of my hold. Get into my car. Sorry. Okay, so this ship is worth less than 1 million ISK. Last but not least, but what now that I'm not power gaming over the last couple months, I've started to be able to watch a few more Eve YouTube videos, and you guys have probably watched it in the past, but really good video I watched the other day was by Captain Benzie. He does a bunch of videos. I think they're really well done. I don't have a lot of time to watch them, but he did talk. There was one about going Omega, and I really enjoyed that video because it was kind of going at it from a little bit of a different point of view that I had not thought of, where he was saying if you are paying for your Omega with ISK, um, a proper route of doing that, and it might actually be very helpful for me with this character because at some point I will be buying into Omega, but I also always need to be ready to. I don't want it to be a grind to get that Omega. So I want to set up the character that if I'm not able to get Omega for the month, it's still playable with being an alpha. So if you get a chance, watch that video. But here, gonna jump in here. Let's see if we can die. Notice I don't have hardly anything fitted on this. We're just gonna head on out. Now there is one other person's system, but they are docked up with me. One thing you always want to be careful of. Now I haven't looked at Balana Tech here. This is that other person that's in the system. If anybody is in a station with you, this happened to me a long time ago. They were waiting to kill me. So they were waiting and they waited to see whenever I undocked. And then they undocked right after. And they were able to, ooh, we just had another guy come in system. Um, and then they were able to tackle me. And so what I've set up, I think, off of this station is I do have an undock. If you have the undock set up, you can get directly off that station as quickly as possible. So we're going to go ahead and try and do that here. And you are invulnerable. I think it's for like 10 seconds or something like that whenever you undock. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I set this undock directly off the station. So I should go straight to warp because you come out of the station at full speed. Yeah, see right up here, we've got 14 seconds left, so it must have been 20 seconds. Now, if I just hit warp, I should go straight to warp. It's a little bit off. Looks like my gut was able to get going pretty quickly. So that gets me off the station as quickly as possible. Um, I set this one up at like 330 kilometers out. You want to move this in and out every so often because if somebody's watching you, they will be able to figure out where your undocks might be. Now, is this important for me right now? No, I'm flying a ship that's only worth 1,000,000 ISK. Could it be important for me in the future? Very much so. If I were to be flying an expensive ship, I did talk an episode or two ago about how I usually like to log off in space while I'm out here in nullsec. That way I'm not stuck on a bubbled station. Um, but there you are. Okay, so just a rehash, I am in space now. I'm at a safe spot. Um, let's just get moving a little bit. Might as well put our probes in our probe scanner. Why not? And we are going to try and go from here all the way down here. Now, one thing that you can do is in Dotland, you can go in and change your filters. Now I can show you how many jumps have happened in the last 24 hours, how many ships and pod kills. I can show you how many ship and pod. This is the last hour. This is the last 24 hours. So if you notice here, there's been multiple kills right along this little gauntlet area. Nothing super quiet down here. But notice these gauntlet areas, I call them gauntlet areas, but places that you have to get through. The other thing you want to look for is number of pod kills. So if you notice ships and pod kill, ship and pod kill, ship and pod kill, that means a little bit of gate camping going on. Probably, now if you notice here, 22 going from one null sec to another null sec here. So uh, literally, probably that's gate camp most of the time. That'd be interesting to go take a gander at if I get a chance. Cool, I got nobody in system now. Now I'm going to show you guys some of the save spots that I've gotten. Now, every time that I do this, um, I probably want to do it a little bit differently each time. Uh, I've set up in this system so far two random save spots, as you can see right up here, and then I've got an undock. As you're in a system more and more often, you want to move your save spots around a little bit, but you want to make them a little bit more specific too. And if I can get to it, I'll show you guys um, a save spot by opportunity. Anytime you have an opportunity to set this type of save spot up, it's very, very important. So let's go ahead and we're going to jump to FJ, Tech UEX. Now, any one of these gates I go through right now, I could die at. And notice I have nobody in system right now. So I'm 99% sure I don't have to worry about just jumping straight through this gate, but there could be a bubble on the other side. Yeah, somebody's worried about me. The irony here is if I do die, it's actually going to send me back to my home station in high sec, and I want to pick up a few things and bring them out. So I really don't mind dying right now. Okay, so we got one guy in system. Anytime you have somebody in system, you want to you want to check your local as quickly as possible and get off that gate as quickly as possible when you're in NPC Null. There's a bunch of different ways to set up save spots in here. I found living for about 6 months to a year out in NPC nullsec as an alpha taught me some kind of neat little things to make sure you're doing and make the place feel more lived in. Um, Now I'm trying to go to JVJ2 TAC N. I'm going to just do a D scan here. 360 D scan. I'm not seeing any warp bubbles. I'm not seeing any sabers or anything like that, which that 0.3 JVJ2 is there. But I will show you this on the map. I'm going to be jumping into JVJ2. I'm going to drop this down to ship pod kills. Somebody died right here in the last hour and got potted. So there is about a 50-50 chance right now that there is a bubble on the opposite side here. We're about to go find out. So cross our fingers, hope not to die. Let's do one more D-scan just to be careful. Whoop, okay, that's just an NPC ship. And we're going to go ahead and jump straight through. If they put a bubble on the gate, it's a very good chance I'm going to die. If there's a drag bubble on the gate, then that means they're trying to catch people going the opposite direction. So we're about to find out. Cross our fingers. Hope not to die. Go. So I think the save spot that I want to show you guys is in this next system. Okay, we got one guy in system. Going to check out our local. Oh, good. Looks like he left. Okay, so safe. Going to warp off this gate as quickly as possible. Even though there's nobody in system, we want to get off it. Aha, look right there. There was a death in the family right there. That is a Triglavian destroyer wreck. Interesting. Okay. I know I brought this up in the past, but directional scanning, once you get it down, it really changes the game 100% for you. And I'll probably say it 1,000 times more. It makes the game feel more lived in. Um, it makes the game um, feel like you're not just point to point in different areas. It makes you understand more about the space around you. One thing I'm going to show you here now, if you don't know about drag bubbles, I would suggest, I've done a couple videos on those. It's not the best, but I've done a few. I'm not going to go into that right now. But I would highly suggest looking up what drag bubbles are. It's a very good Eve University article about that. The one thing I wanted to show in this system is, notice how I'm at my safe spot 1. There's nobody in the system, so I'm not too worried about it right now. But I've set up 2 other save spots here. Now, both of these are 550 kilometers off of gates that I might fly to. Now, the gate that I just flew from was 5JUX. Am I correct with that here? Let's pull it up. Yeah, 5JUX. So there's a 550 kilometer off the gate here and a 550 gate kilometer. It's right here and right there. Why did I put it at 550 kilometers out? And probably I should have done it at like 700 or so. The reason is that warp bubbles, if you're warping directly at them, can drag you, if I'm not mistaken, at 500 kilometers out. So if you warp in within 500 kilometers out, it can drag you to that bubble, which is what will happen. And then guys who are waiting there will then shoot you and kill you. It's an old, very basic tactic of tackling people out here in nullsec. This is very important to try to get a full view of everything that's going on. If you notice, my L6B Tech ON gate right here is 0.5 away. So if I just do a D scan on it, a D scan for my 360, tells me there's a frigate wreck. Remember that wreck that I saw earlier? And then the gate itself. So I can see anybody around this one. But the important one here is, I'm going to pull up my solar system map and I'm going to zoom in. And this is the 5UX gate. Now, the one thing that I can do is, if I wasn't close to the 5JUX, I could fly toward one of these moons here, or the asteroid belt. I would say usually an asteroid belt or a planet, not a moon, because every once in a while there'll be a Death Star at one of the moons that somebody's built that's been sitting there forever. So if I want to see where the, the system that the checks the gate that I'm at 5JUX, I can I'll warp 100 outside of the asteroid belt that's right near that. Why would I do that? Because you're going to see here as my bubble moves, it's going to move within the asteroid belt, but it's also going to cover, my directional bubble is also going to cover the gate. So now, if I descan it, I've got the gate, and I can see if anybody's dropped any warp disruption fields, that sort of thing. So that's a first trick that you can do. Um, it's knowing, and that where I was saying about the directional scanning, it opens up the actual world. Now here's the interesting part, and this is why I did the other save spot. Um, since that asteroid field was right near that, I had no issues. I could just warp to it, then scan. But let's say I was coming through that gate like I was 5 minutes ago, and I wanted to check out this gate to L6B TAC 0N. I wanted to see if there were any bubbles on that. Well, if you notice, hovering over it, it does not give me any options. There are no other celestials near there. No celestials within 14.3 AU. Pretty sure this one's 21. Yeah. And why is that? Because this is in 360 dimensions. So watch how I turn. Notice how that gate is way down here on its own. It's sitting there, nothing um, around it to warp to check. So if there was one or two other people in the system, I'd be flying at this gate blind because it's not within 14.3 AU. So last night while I was flying through, and this is where I was saying way earlier in the video, how things that I do now can affect how I play later. Um, I flew, no one was in this system like they are right now. Um, I flew to it, then flew 550 kilometers off the gate and set a save spot to right here. We'll go ahead and warp. Gonna watch my bubble go. Bubbledy, 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 bubbledy. I am never gonna say that again, hopefully. Notice how the bubble's getting closer, but I'm not at the gate. I'm right near the gate, but I'm not at it. Now, why is that important? Because I'm not getting, if there was a warp disruption device there, I would be in trouble. But I'm not. So go ahead and scan that. Notice there, nothing clear. Oh wait, did I warp to the save? Oh, I warped. So my first save spot is 0.5 AU, but I can get even closer. What was that? L6 Tech B. So I'm going to warp to the 550 off it. Zoom in here a little bit. I'm just going to move just a little bit, see how that moved a little bit. But now I'm going to be on grid with the gate. So now I can look at that gate, but I didn't have to worry about the warp disruption fields, if there were any, and then I can see what's going on. Why is this helpful? Well, down the road, I'm going to have cloaky ships, and I can warp and see what's going on, and that's even better. So two separate things. I was able to set up a um, save spot far enough off of it that I can't be seen other than with directional scanning. Um, and then one that was real close to it so I can get an up close and personal view of the gate. Now I'm at the gate, no one's in local, I know there isn't a warp disruption bubble, I can jump through here and maybe get through and not worry about dying in the next one. Watch this, I'll probably end up jumping through and somebody be sitting on the other side. Oh, there's a body. Corey Padell. There you go. All the way through. Now again, nobody in system. I'm good. Got a couple safe spots here. Now, was I able to set up 550 kilometer save spots in every single one of these? No, I just set up general save spots. And as I go through them back and forth, I either may add new save spots or I may move current save spots to different ones so that people can't pin me down. But in general, if you're out here in NPC Null, unless you know somebody, you have to assume that they probably want to shoot you. So you need to always be on the defensive and watching out for that sort of thing. Or if you are good at things that I'm not, you could be generally wanting to shoot anybody else. So these safe spots could be helpful as well. Um, but I hope that helps everybody. I think I've done side videos of this, but my major point with this is not to teach you how to make save spots, but to show you that gameplay doesn't have to be about making ISK, doesn't have to be about destroying other ships. It can just be about setting yourself up to have fun, more fun, make your game easier down the road. It did just bring out something that might be helpful. It is the new, what's it here? The nerfing. I checked it out a little bit yesterday. I haven't gotten into it so much, but um, I'm interested. I'm interested in that. So maybe I'll have more info on my reactions to that next video. Don't know when the next video will go. I try to do, since I came back, at least one a week. Last week I was able to do two. Um, but yeah. Hey, somebody wants to say goodbye to you? I'm going to say goodbye to you. Come on up, pup. You're not listening to me. So this is a husky for you. Come on. There you go. Say goodbye, Amaya. Say goodbye. Bye. You guys fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however you want. And I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.